Okie dokie, guys. What'd you think of that arch in St. Louis? That's pretty cool, wasn't it? Okay, so we're here. We got to get some juice in the car. Let's get out and plug it in. All right, so we got it plugged in. As you can see, we got 72 miles of range still. It is 1:56 in the afternoon, and we're kicking 150 kilowatts already. So this is pretty fast charger right here. 171. Yeah, I like this charger. It's pumping it to it pretty quick. So we're just going to sit here and see how long it takes, and I'll give you a report when we get enough range to get on down to Columbia, Missouri, which is our next stop. Okay, we've actually taken longer than we needed to. I've got 225 miles of range on the car now, and it's now 2:18, so a little over 20 minutes to add 150 some miles to the car. And honestly, I didn't need to sit here this long because I had enough range already to get to Columbia. So we'll go here, we'll pull up charging, and we'll hit stop charger, and that's it. I'll get out and unplug it, and we'll get on down the road. We got over 200 miles of range on the car. Honestly, these stops, they time them seems like just right, you know. So you got to stop anyway to empty your bladder. At least I do. I never have been blessed with a big bladder. Driving semi for all those years, I always carried a pee jug, but I don't really feel comfortable carrying a pee jug in a car. So we're gonna hop in the car here and see how much more juice we got, see how much range we got, and get on down the road here shortly. Okay, so here you can see my screen. We've got at Columbia 250 miles of range. It's showing 5 minutes remain to continue trip. Well, really, we got enough range right now to get over to Topeka if I don't hit it hard. So I think I'm just gonna let it, see if it'll top out. We've been here for 30 minutes now because we started at 4:13. Now it's now 4:43. And honestly, yeah, 30 minutes to charge, but it doesn't feel like 30 minutes because I had to use the bathroom. I had to walk across the street, went to use the restroom, sat down, got me a little something to eat. Again, I didn't want to feel like I was too rushed, but in a way I did feel like I was kind of rushed to eat just to get back to the car. So honestly, people that are worried about how long it takes to charge a car, an electric vehicle, I'm giving you my unbiased opinion, showing you in reality what it takes. And yeah, it does take longer sometimes to charge it than a gasoline car, but when you look at how long you would normally stop anyway, I'm just one person. I can guarantee if I had two other people in the car, it always takes longer to stop when you have more people. So I don't feel like it's an issue to spend, you know, a little extra time to put charge on. Now I do have almost 200 miles to go to Topeka, so I'm trying to get it topped off as much as I can before I do leave here. Okay, so now we're at 260 miles of range. It's showing enough range to get to Topeka, which we do, and it's saying that it's easy to go ahead or it's okay to disconnect now and go on. So that's what we're going to do, because honestly, I could only put 6 more miles of range on this car, and then the battery's totally full. So, and I'm not going to hit it as hard going to Topeka. I was doing 70, 75 from St. Louis over here to Columbia, but I'm going to slow it down to 65 like I did yesterday. So we'll go here, we'll pull up charging, and we'll press stop charging and get out and unplug. Okay, guys, it's now the next morning. I got to Topeka, or excuse me, not to Topeka, to Salina last night, and I had to charge the car there. I put a full charge on before I went to my hotel room, and got up this morning and did a little trading from the markets from the hotel, and then left out. But what we got going on here right now is that the temperature has dropped. We got evidently a low pressure system's come in. It's been in the 70s and 80s for the last 2 days. This morning, it was 55 degrees out at 9 o'clock. And I left the room about 11 o'clock, and it hadn't gone up any at all. So what happens is when the temperature goes down, it affects the battery on the car somewhat, and we're losing our efficiency that we had the last 2 days. So let's see here, pull up trips. You can see here on today, let me show you. So right here, we've done 94 miles since we left Salina, and you can see our efficiency is 308 watt hours. And overall, since we left, we've done 939 miles since we left Tennessee, and the average has been 237. So our efficiency is going up, or excuse me, going down, because the temperature is dropping. It really hasn't come up much at all. It's 59 degrees right now. It's 12:29. And so what I did is the car wanted me to stop in Colby, Kansas, 200 miles, about 200 miles from Salina, and then stop in Lyman, Colorado before I get into Denver this evening. But I opted instead to add a third charging stop. It is lunchtime right now. It's 12:30, so time to eat anyway. So I'm stopping here in Hays, Kansas, and we still have 130 miles of range after driving 94 miles. So you can see there the efficiency is clearly going down, because I had it topped off to 267 miles of range. So that's one thing that we need to consider on these electric vehicles is temperature outside and how it'll affect your efficiency. So I'm going to plug in. We're going to get a full charge on it, and then we're going to get something to eat, and then head on over to Colby, Kansas. Okay, we're at our next charging stop in Colby, Kansas. We're showing 125 miles of range right now. I did top off back there at Hays, Kansas. Got a full range on or full charge on the car back there. And we've driven, I think, 106 miles. So the temperature's warmed up outside, and the economy has improved somewhat. So we're gonna, and this charging station is actually at a truck stop, a Petro truck stop, which I'm glad to see as a Tennessee trucker. Okay, so we're gonna get out, we're gonna plug in. It is now 3:14, probably about quarter after by the time I get it plugged in. Going to go inside, get a little coffee, use the restroom, come back out, and then our next charging stop will be Lyman, Colorado, before we get into Denver. Okay, we have made it to Lyman, Colorado. We've got about 93 miles of range still on the car. It's getting kind of hazy around here. So we're not too far from Denver. We're gonna go ahead and plug in. It's right here at Arby's, so I'm gonna grab a little something to eat, and then come on out and check the car and get going. And just like that, we got something to eat, and we got over 200 miles of range, so we got plenty. We're gonna go ahead and unhook and get on to Denver.